Hi, Dorene here at Fusion Pilates. We've got Christine here modeling for you. Today we're going to talk about hamstrings in a flat back version versus roll down versions, because those are all kinds of things that you do in any kind of movement, and especially in your Pilates sessions. So this red band is representing your hamstrings. Hamstrings attach at the sits bones, in other words your ischial tuberosities, but I think we most often call them sits bones, and then they go past your knee joint. So I've got Christine attached here, and I'm going to ask her to flat back forward. So we bend forward at the hip joint, which means that the hamstring right now is eccentrically loaded, right? So if you can see that the hamstring got a little bit longer when she bent forward this way. So I'm going to even ask Christine to try and lift her tailbone a little bit more, pulling the sits bones away from the connection down past the knee. And then she'll come back up, and as she comes back up, the hamstring has to work to come back. So that's when your concentric contraction is happening. So once again, Christine, go ahead forward, go into that flat back. All right, so you guys use this in Pilates for something called feet and straps, and we'll get to that in a second. But now I'm going to ask Christine to go into a round back. So if you do a roll down or a roll backwards for abdominals, you can see how the hamstring to the knee connection didn't change. So if somebody just goes forward and just tries to get their hands to the floor telling me, I'm trying to get my hamstrings to lengthen, this is not the best way to do it because your pelvis hasn't moved. So in essence, your sits bones connection hasn't moved away from your lower hamstring connection. So you haven't changed what's happening at the hamstring. So come on back up for me, Chris. There you go. So once again, watch her do a roll down and watch what's happening here at the band. So keep your pelvis nice and lifted, right? So she's rolling down and she's saying, oh, I'm going to stretch my hamstrings. Hamstrings haven't moved, hamstrings haven't moved, hamstrings haven't moved, haven't moved, haven't moved. Very little bit right now, hamstrings have started to move. Right? So if she comes back up, don't move your pelvis and just start to bring yourself back into a flat back version. And this, why is this important? It's important for those of us, stop right there. Those of us who suffer with low back problems or have had fusions or spinal surgeries of any type, you really want to know the difference between a round back, tucking the tailbone under, and what's going on with the hamstrings in a flat back version, so that you can protect what's happening here and here. So that's your happy hamstrings.